Can you see my screen? Yes. Can you see my screen? Some noise in the background. Okay, Bismillah wa salatu wa salamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. So inshallah, today we're going to talk about the concept of Islamic identity. Like what makes you a Muslim? Okay. As you know, you have other identities, like you have, you're from a particular ethnic background. Okay. So you might be Somali, you might be Pakistani, you might be. So you have one ethnic. You have an ethnic identity. You have a nationalities, which makes you British. You say I'm British Somali, I'm British Pakistani. So and then also you have your Islamic identity. Okay. So what makes you a Muslim? Because to be a British citizen, you have a passport. To be Somali or Pakistani, your complexion or the way you look, your features, your culture, the family you're born from kind of dictates your identity. So you can't change that. And you as a person, you're a man, you're a woman, and this is a part of your identity and your personality. Okay. So as for the Islamic identity, there's distinctive features, there's characteristics, and you can't say I'm Pakistani or I'm Somali, I'm Iraqi, and so therefore I'm Muslim, I'm automatically Muslim. It doesn't work like that. You have to show certain characteristics, and you have to have certain features that makes you a Muslim. It's mainly about your behavior, what you believe, but that belief has to show. Okay, so here it says the distinctive features of a nation resulting from Muslims' interaction with belief in the Sharia. So when you believe in something and you follow the Sharia, you believe in the Sharia, you believe in Islam, that's going to show in your behavior. And also the characteristics which makes you different, distinguish the Islamic society from other societies. Okay, so you communicate that and you're a witness for Islam. Sorry, you witness on the Day of Judgment that you passed on the message. So basically, it's all about characteristics. So these are all definitions, and belief in the faith of this nation. Pride, you have to have pride, and that you belong to it. Also, you respect the civilization, the cultural values, Islamic values. If I say the Islamic rituals, you have pride in it. You feel like you are part of this group, Muslims. Okay, and you have a duty to follow Islam. So that's basically the definition of the identity. Then we look at what are the components, okay, of the Islamic identity. First one is Islam. Can you guys see my screen? Can you see my screen? Yes. Okay, the first thing is Iman, Islamic faith, like we're talking about today. You have belief in Allah, you believe in Tawheed, you believe you have the Aqidah, and that makes you a part of the Islamic nation. That's why when a person becomes a Muslim, the first thing he does is he says the Shahada, is La ilaha illallah, and then he becomes a Muslim. And Islam accepts all nationalities, all ethnicities, male, female, anybody can enter it. It's not like a cult, or like, for example, to be a Jew, you have to be born in a Jewish family or Hindu. So it's not like that. Islam, everybody's welcome. That's why Islam is international. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna hadihi ummatukum ummatan wahida wa ana rabbukum fa'budun. Indeed, this is indeed the nation is one. In Islam, the ummah is one. And I'm your Lord, so worship me. So we're actually one. Doesn't matter what background you come from, if you're Muslim. The second is the Arabic language. So by learning the Arabic language, and basically it makes you a part of Islam. So if a person says, why do I need to learn Arabic? I'm not an Arab. Why don't I just learn Chinese? Why do I have to basically we're going to say, no, it's a part of your Islamic identity. Just like when you're, for example, the person says, I'm Somali, but why do I need to do Somali? I'm Pakistani. I don't need to learn Pakistani, this and this. That's fine. When it comes to your ethnicity, it's not a big problem. But in Islam, you can't say, I don't like Arabic. I don't want to learn Arabic. You have to learn some Arabic minimum to be able to read the Quran, to be able to read the Salah, Surah Al-Fatiha, to do the Adhan, so a lot to read the du'as, to say Bismillah. So you need some Arabic, minimum Arabic. And the person who learns more Arabic then has more understanding, will have more understanding of the religion. So Arabic is very important. Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, he said that learning Arabic is wajib. Sorry, he said learning the Quran and Sunnah, understanding is wajib, and you can't understand except with Arabic. Therefore, if understanding the Quran and Sunnah is wajib, then ma la yatimul wajib illa bihi fahuwa wajib. So everything that you can't complete without it to fulfill this duty, then it becomes wajib. Like, for example, Salah is wajib, it's obligatory. You can't pray Salah unless you do wudu. So then wudu becomes wajib. So he's saying you have to learn Arabic to be able to understand the Quran and Sunnah, to fulfill the minimum. So you have to learn. So it becomes wajib for you to learn some Arabic. Like a person can't say, I don't want to learn how to read Arabic. That's going to be a problem. A person says, I don't want to learn how to read it. I don't want to learn how to pronounce it correctly. He reads Alhamdu and he's saying Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, and he's reading the Ha as Ha and Ain. Then his salah is in day. He won't be accepted if he doesn't bother about it. Secondly, the Islamic calendar is a part of our identity. So if you don't know what day is today in Islam, you don't know what month it is, that's going to be a problem, because you don't even know then how far away. You don't know how far away is Ramadan. Okay. You don't know how far away Ramadan is. You don't know when Ramadan is. You don't know when Hajj is. So basically, you have to learn about the Islamic calendar. Is a part of our identity. Okay. Also, you should learn about the Islamic history, our Islamic history. So our history doesn't start with Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It starts all the way from Adam. So from Adam to Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is our history. Okay. So it's our basically you should learn the stories of the prophets. You should understand like the story of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, his seerah. If you don't know anything about the seerah, you don't know about Abu Bakr, Umar, Uthman, Ali, we're going to learn about them. So the Islamic, if you don't know about your Islamic heritage, is a problem in history. Also, you should know about the Islamic heritage, which is, inshallah, we're mainly going to cover in this book, which is what books, like you should know about what is Madhab Maliki, Shafi'i, Hanbali. You should know like the different schools of thought, how Islam, like fiqh, has evolved. You should even learn about the different sects, why there's, the history, how these sects came about, or why they deviated. Okay. Also, you learn about how the Muslims can become powerful civilization, and you learn about the adat to protect Islamic. Every identity has a heritage. Our heritage is not only buildings, except of Makkah and Medina and the Masajid, but our real heritage is, as the Prophet said, he's left behind knowledge. So the knowledge is real heritage, the Quran and Sunnah. Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. No. Do you guys understand what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, what are the threats to Islamic identity? So one of them is because people want to get rid of your Islamic identity. They don't want to see it. Or sometimes they just want to get rid of all religious identities, like in France. They don't want to see hijab. They don't want to see the Yehud wearing his little hat and having the hair he has on the side, whatever they call that. He doesn't want the Hindu to have a turban. He doesn't want or the Sikh to have a turban. He doesn't want any religious identities to be shown. So in Islam, there's threats to your Islamic identity. One of them is foreign intellectual invasion. Ghazwa al-Fikri, which means every time they come with says new gays under new bright names and they pass legislations to get rid of Islam. Okay, so like what's happening in non-Muslim countries, even in Muslim countries, sometimes they ban the niqab. That is also Islamic, part of the Islamic identity, because if women want to wear it, you can't force them not to wear it unless it's good reasons. Hijab, some places you can't wear hijab, full jilbab. So basically, they want to invade Islam, not as colonization as it was before, but they want to invade and control what you do, what you can't do, what you practice, what you can't practice. Like, for example, now, not many Muslim countries are implementing the Islamic law. Like when there's theft, you cut the person's hand off. When there's murder, the person gets killed, the capital punishment, the person who commits zina. This is all in the Sharia, and they don't want you to implement that. They say implement the democratic laws. The next is blind imitation. People start to follow other people's clothing. They dress like a non-Muslim. They have haircuts like a non. We're going to talk about that, haircuts like a non-Muslim. The woman, you can't even tell if she's Muslim or not. If she's Somali, you can tell if she's Muslim or not. But let's say if an Egyptian woman is not wearing hijab, how would you tell she's a Muslim? You can't tell from the name. You can't tell. So it has to. When people start to blind follow other identities, other religious identities, or other people, they become like them. You can't tell who's who. So that's another problem. Like, for example, you might not be able to tell the difference between a Somali man or Jamaican man who's a non-Muslim. Somali Muslim, Jamaican non-Muslim, you can't tell if he's got if he's got braids, if he's dressed like a gangster, you can't tell. Jamaican, I'm talking about the thugs, not people who are actually professionals. Also, the flaw in Aqidah, people don't know their Aqidah and their Aqidah is incorrect, or they're relaxed when it comes to their Aqidah, or they're extreme. That's another threat to Islam, the real Islam. How could you preserve your Islamic identity? One is to follow the religion of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and know that it is complete. It is the only way that a person can be successful in this life. Okay? So that's one, following Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's law, the Sharia. Two, to learn about Islam, to basically provide yourself with enough knowledge about the Sharia. So you know what is halal or what is haram, and you don't mix, you don't get doubts about Islam. And you go to the religious scholars that are reliable. You don't take your religion for anybody. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, فَاسْأَلُوا أَهْلَ الذِّكْرِ إِن كُنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Also, you have to properly construct yourself, which means you have to make sure you're strong, your iman is strong. You stay away from, remember we talked about the hardness of the heart. So if your iman becomes weak, your heart becomes rusty because you're just playing, you're spending all your time in entertainment on social media, or you're addicted to certain things, or so mentally you're not going to be strong to handle it. So when somebody dies, you should be able to handle it and accept qadr. When calamities befall, to be strong, have yaqeen. So basically, to be construct yourself properly and know that the Quran is using the Quran to make yourself strong as well as Sunnah. This is how you can. That's how you can protect your Islamic identity, not just to go with whatever is basically popular at that time. How could you show pride in Islam? Your Islamic identity. You have to show pride in your Islamic identity because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلِلَّهِ الْعِزَّةُ وَلِرَسُولِهِ وَلِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. The honor belongs to Allah and His Messenger and to the believers. So you're honorable. You have to believe that you're more honorable than non-Muslims because you believe in Allah, the creator of the heavens and the earth. Like people in Palestine, they will always believe that they're better because they have Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on their side. So, but going back to the correct aqidah, okay, I was reading yesterday, they were saying that Muslims will, they were saying, oh, where's the Salahuddin? And then one person said, there will be no Salahuddin except until we have the Salahuddin. The Salahuddin means to fix the religion. So he says, until you fix your religion, there will be no real individual who will be able to protect or conquer Jerusalem. So when people's iman is strong, then they will be able to protect themselves. When they have strong identity, then they'll be able to basically protect themselves. So that's one. And looking at the Islamic history, having pride in the Arabic language and learning about it. A lot of people think Arabic, they would rather choose Arabic, Chinese rather than Arabic if it was in university, if they had a choice in school. But Islamic identity says you should be choosing Arabic. That's your language. Should be another slide. Okay. Yeah, slides are not working, but generally, it just shows you. Yes, that's the last slide. So basically, you have to be proud of Islam. Yani, don't shy away. If you want to see if you want to know if you have a strong Islamic identity, then look at, for example, when you're put in a situation, if you're going to like if you're put in a situation where you're a lady and then the president wants to shake your hand, and if you don't shake the president's hand and put your hand on your chest and just show that politely that you're a Muslim woman, you don't shake hands with non-mahrams, then that's a strong identity. But a weak identity will be a person who has weak identity. They will shake their hand. Then the president will probably hug and kiss, and as they do in their culture. So that's what I'm talking about. We're going to learn about, inshallah, probably next lesson I'll teach you how it's imitating non-Muslims as well, and how that, like, if you're imitating another identity, so that means your identity is going to be weak. So inshallah we'll talk about that next week. As for this, we've finished. I've actually covered 2 lessons.